What's good, homies? Welcome back to another Rugby League Live 4 West Tigers rebuild video. As you can see, we're in the final game of the State of Origin series. We're locked at 1 apiece, and these are your squads for game 3. Funnily enough, New South Wales have only made 1 change to their losing side compared to their 5 changes they made after beating us in game 1. Alright, so from 1 to 17, their squad is as follows. In the back 5 they have Tedesco, Mansour, Croker, Bird and Morris. In the halves they got Maloney and Pearce. In the front row they have Boyd, Farah and Fafita. In the back row they have Frizzell, Graham and Marin. And on the bench they have Woods, Tamo, Dugan and Paulo. Alright, as for the Queensland squad, we made 3 changes. First of all, Thurston's back from injury, and instead of Munster going to the bench, I actually decided to go with Michael Morgan. Also, Corbin Sims enters the 17 for an injured Patrick Galfusi. So from 1 to 17, the Queensland squad for game 3. First of all, starting off with the back 5, we have Slater, Gagai, Boyd, Chambers and Valentine Holmes. In the halves we have Thurston and Cronk. In the front row we have Scott, Smith and Napa. In the back row we have Cooper, Gillett and Wallace. And coming off the bench we have Morgan, Hess, Papali and Sims. Also, they'll be captained for the last time by Cameron Smith.
We're often told that if we ignore history, we are doomed to repeat it. And certainly if we look at the history of the past 7 years, it would suggest if these two teams play to their best tonight, then Queensland, in all likelihood, will prevail. They are the proven ones. They are indeed a champion team. But that's the beauty of sport. This result is not yet carved in stone. The New South Wales Blues will have their say. Inspire each other with your effort. Inspire each other with your courage. Inspire each other with your will to win. So there it is for New South Wales tonight. Enjoy your Origin football.
Alright, welcome back. How was that for an intro? I know a lot of people don't like Gus, or well, Gus's commentary I think, but I enjoy his little Origin pep talks before the game. As we get started in attack here, 12 minutes in, I'm just going to say this was one of the toughest games I've probably played on the game so far. For the most part, I think I played super conservative here, as we make a break down the sideline here, thanks to the soft hands of Gavin Cooper. On the 4th, we're going to attack their short side as we go to Scott, draws in 2 defenders, gets the pass away to Chambers, and we almost stuff up the try there by sidestepping, but we're going to get the 4 points and open the scoring for Origin 3. Alright, so it was Will Chambers. As we look at the replay, taking a look at the finish, and the great hands here to scoop that up, that loose pass. Something I'd like to see in the future games of Rugby League Live would be more fumbles from those situations. You see how he scooped that up easily with one hand. We see that way too often. I reckon poor passes need to get punished more with knock-ons. As we take our first shot at goal with JT, and we're going to slot it for the 2 points. Believe it or not, that's all the quote-unquote highlights in the first half. Like I was saying earlier in the video, I played super conservative, played for territory, kicked down into the corners. I tried to minimize their time with the ball as much as possible. Not sure how many of you guys have played Origin in career mode, but the AI in attack, especially on veteran, they're just super hard to contain, so I had to play a bit of quote-unquote boring footy to try and achieve my goal for the match, which was to minimize time and possession for them. Alright, back in attack here, we're with New South Wales. We're 56 minutes into the game, and they're just inside halfway. As they go out the back, spreading the ball here, and it's going to be Mitchell Pearce who makes it to the 50. A nice hit by Darius Boyd to shut that down. As they knock the ball on here, both teams actually made quite a few errors this game. As we get the scrum feed here, on halfway, Wallace at the back feeds it to Slater, Slater to Chambers and quick hands out to Valentine Holmes as he gets around one defender, cuts inside Croker, and we're going to race away for the second try of the game. It was a pretty simple try off the back of the scrum, and a bit of individual brilliance by Holmes to make the break. Not too sure where Holmes will go next season. We've got some exciting possible combinations with all these young players coming in for the next Origin series, but for now, we're going to look at the replay here, and as you can see, it was just simple passing out to Holmes, who beats 2 defenders, as we leave the rest of the defenders in our dust. A bit of showboating, and we quickly dove before we before we got the ball knocked out like a few of our other games. Alright, back with JT here for a fairly simple kick as we extend the lead to 12. So after we failed to get a kick away on the last, we're back with New South Wales as Fafita busts through one tackle, strikes off another defender, and he's racing away here until he finally gets wrapped up by Slater on our 30. A huge run by their captain as they quickly shift it out to Graham, and he's going to get the legs driving towards our 20. Second tackle, they go to Pierce. Pierce to Maloney, Maloney to Tedesco. Beautiful hands as Tedesco slices through our line to finally score New South Wales' first try of the game. There was a bit of slickness in the passing displayed by the AI. I tried drifting with the passes, but I was just too slow to change players, and that little hole that was exposed, that was all Tedesco needed to score a pretty smooth try. And what about that initial break from Fafita? That was exactly what I was talking about when I said they could be super difficult to contain at times, as Maloney converts and gets him within 6. Alright, we're back at the kickoff here, and it isn't a great one. I tried to play it safe, but it's going to be Croker here, who steps his way past 2 defenders and makes it inside our half to start the set, as Frizzell gets an offload away to Maloney, and we're going to give a penalty away here for a high tackle, just inviting New South Wales back into the game as they shift it here to Marin. Off the tap, he's going to score their second try of the game. That was some pretty terrible goal line defense by us, and I made a massive mistake there when I tried to dive with Slater, I think it was, at the back. Tried diving, activated a goose step for the AI, and Marin's going to score their second try of the game. As we look at the finish here, and as you can see, that dive was a terrible option as Maloney takes the kick from right in front, ties the game up, and that eventually sends us into extra time. It's pretty crazy how quickly they managed to score 2 tries. Then again, it was on the back of a poor kickoff by me, and then that penalty we gave away didn't help either. As we jump right into extra time here, it's a third tackle with Dylan Napa as he inches his way closer to our 40. Fourth tackle here, I decide to send it to Thurston, and we want to kick it early to try and pin them in the corner, but it's a terrible kick as it gets scooped up by Tedesco, and he actually runs it into touch. What a play by Tedesco, as we are in a prime position to either slot a field goal or go for a set play. Off the back of the scrum, we just spread the ball out to Holmes again, no one on the wing, and we're going to sneak into the corner with a match-winning try. So just like in real life, what looked to be a pretty plain and simple grounding, they're going to send it up as a no try. Surely that ref's got money on us losing, as we look at the grounding, and it's a perfect grounding. As we eventually get the green lights here, and we're going to accomplish our mission of sending off our veterans with one last Origin Series win. It was a pretty good series. We got smashed in the first game, we barely won the second, and then we barely won in the third. They were some pretty ugly wins, but they were wins nonetheless, as we hoist the trophy here. Full time at Suncorp Stadium, we defeat the New South Wales Blues and win the series 16 points to 12. Man of the match going to Valentine Holmes. As always, shoulder charge that like button for more Rugby League Live 4 content. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you.
Since I was young, they said I won't be nothing. Now they always say
Later.
Congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation.